welcome to our story of how we got started pressure washing. Enjoy. Hey, Littles Pressure Washing here. Barry and Kayla, we're the Littles Pressure Washing. We're going to be talking a little bit about how we got started in the business. I've got asked a lot of questions, and it's time I sit down and make a video. So we're going to shoot from the hip. And if you hear screaming in the background, it's okay. It's just our family.
But crazy family.
Yeah, we got two beautiful girls, and they're just playing.
They're playing right
never
now.
mind that.
They're kind of wild.
We got started around 2015 or 2016, right?
Yeah, 2015.
2015. It was kind of a sad gig. We were looking to make some extra money, and I was just like, I went on Craigslist, and I had already detailed before and done some pressure washing, but I went and found a cheap pressure washer for around maybe $100 and a shop vac for $40 on Craigslist.
That shop vac, oh my gosh, it was a piece of work. Let me tell you,
it did
its job, but it was a piece of work.
It had a lot of tape to it, electrical tape.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
And we didn't even have a truck. We had a Mercury Grand Marquis, nice car for her grandpa, but it was definitely like a dunk, you know.
Yeah.
I never got pulled over a lot, but I got pulled over in that car for some strange reason. But yeah, so we just kind of went on a limb and started doing that. And we were working at a factory making nutritional bars, running the plant part, and she was running the marketing and shipping part. And we kind of worked on different sides. And we drove an hour and a half each way to work. It was like 3 hours round trip. And she was pregnant, and she worked till she was 9 months pregnant. And we were doing this on the side, started detailing. When we started detailing, we detailed the nastiest cars from the bank.
Oh my gosh. They were repos, so people usually just completely trashed them out. They were full of cigarettes, cigarette burns, trash. Like, we found some crazy stuff in these people's cars. They were really dirty, but that's how we got started. And
we were only making like $60 a car. It was horrible.
It wasn't a lot. It wasn't.
And all day long, worked 7 days a week, Saturday and Sunday, you know, after church, and be out there and work until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. We paid our dues, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then we were doing it on the side, and I always knew there was something more out there. I didn't want to be working for nobody else. I was always like a leader at heart, and I took things on, and I always could, like at the plant I was working at, nobody had ran it at a speed I went to, and I just took it and knocked the ceilings out, you know, basically like just anything that had been accomplished, I shattered those records, and I got as high as I could go there. And it was a startup company, and everybody got laid off except for me and one other person. We were the last ones because they didn't have much money. I don't know if they managed their money.
And it was terrifying because at this point I was like 8 months pregnant, and eventually they did end up laying him off.
Yes.
And we were due for a baby any day. As new parents, we were petrified. We were like, what are we going to do? We have a baby coming, and we have no way to support our family.
And she had quit work. She was like about to give birth.
Oh yeah, so I quit working maybe just a couple weeks prior.
So I got called in the office one day on a Friday and given like a $350 paycheck, and that was all the money. They said,
"See you later."
They said, we're sorry that we have nothing. The owner couldn't do it himself. He had somebody else do it because I don't know if he felt like bad for doing it, because I had always. Me and her, we drove across the country numerous times for this company. We put in,
went to Texas.
We went above and beyond, and at the end of the day, I know they appreciated us, but they couldn't afford to keep us. They were kind of just going out of business. And you would come in
early and stay late. I would just sit in the car and take a nap or something when my shift ended, to wait for him, because they kept him like 3 or 4 extra hours a day.
I would come in, turn the alarm off, get started making the mixes, run the bars. Me and one other person, we basically were the backbone of this company, me and this other girl that helped me. But anyway.
That kind of kicked you into gear. So like when we lost.
I was wanting to leave so bad. I was like, I want to leave. I can't count the days that I was like,
when we lost our job. When he lost his job, he's such a go-getter. I don't know. Like, he just can't not sit and do anything, if that makes sense. Like, so most people would get down and out about something like that, which he definitely had his moment where we were sad and we were scared, but it just kicked him into like full throttle, you know, like he was ready to go. So that's honestly, we wouldn't be here today if that never happened.
So I got laid off. She didn't go to work with me that day. I think she had stopped because she was going to give birth in like a week. So, and that was a long drive home. I had to drive home and tell my wife that I have no more work. I can't take care of us. A couple of days later, I put my outfit on. I put a nice polo on, jeans, and I went out and I started knocking on doors and boots on the ground. Went into the banks. I went into offices and I started asking if I could do detailing work. I made some cards up, and that was the start of this business.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. But he got a lot of no's, and then finally he got some yeses. And gosh, after that, the work just kept kind of piling on for you, you know? One thing led to another. We were finally able to save up enough from the small jobs we were doing to be able to buy our first pressure washer and a trailer to put it on.
And there was no videos on YouTube back then. It was none of these classes.
No, this was in like what,
2015. There was
maybe the beginning of 16 at this point.
A couple videos, but everybody that's doing it now was not even nowhere around then.
Yeah. So we had like no kind of direction of where we were going or what we were doing, you know?
It was all we spent a lot of money, a lot of trial and error, and boots on the ground. That's why I'm so stressed. Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, you could spend all the money in the world to put your money into marketing, but I will do more, I guarantee you, any day of the week by going out and beating concrete and knocking doors.
There's nothing like shaking a man's hand. You know, the flyers and all that stuff, they work. They're great. The signs, amazing, right? You're going to get a lot of business that way. But there's just nothing quite like shaking somebody's hand and getting that like one-on-one communication with them, you know? And that is what really got us a lot of business at first. We didn't even really do much marketing at all. You know, It was all word of mouth. We do the signs and the cards and all that. But,
we only started 2 years ago doing the signs, though.
Yeah, you really don't need it to start.
But by the grace of God, we've always, and we don't talk numbers on the channel, but we've always almost doubled every year, you know, pretty much going forward. And that's crazy. And it's awesome, amazing. And, you know, for us, like we had nothing. We didn't have nothing, no money to our name.
We lived in my grandmother's basement. I mean, we got married and, you know,
that's another whole story.
But yeah, we won't get into that. But we did, like when we first started, we were living in she has a little apartment in her basement that she let us stay in. And Barry was, you know, out there just
doing brick and block
whatever
work
he could
and cooking at night.
And we finally saved up enough to get into our first home, you know?
Yep, we got into our first, and then we got into a second rental, and then this is our first home together like we purchased. So in a nutshell, we were working for somebody else. We wanted to go out on our own. We were scared to go out on our own. We knew we should, and we were put in a position where we had no choice, and it worked. It was the best thing at the time. It was really horrible, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah.
We went to a company called Largo. They're still big in the industry. And we always pay cash. We don't try to get in debt. We always stay debt free. Right now, our company's debt free. Sure, we would like to go out and buy a brand new rig and have it nice and shiny. But at the end of the day, ours is paid for. And just like the wreck we just had I not have extra backup trailers, we would be up the creek with no paddle. Yes. So I would suggest
have good insurance.
Have good insurance.
We thought we had better insurance, which our insurance took care of a lot, but it's worth paying the little bit of extra to just get all the bells and whistles because that's your livelihood. That if something happens to that trailer you're pulling, you're done.
Check
that's
your insurance.
Livelihood. So make sure you have good insurance.
Go through your insurance.
That is one thing we've taken from this process.
Yes.
Good insurance.
Like go through your policy and make sure you're covered on fires, terrorists, theft, total
uninsured
motorists.
Stuff, you know?
I can't stress that enough.
Make 100% sure that, of course, your vehicle is covered. Make sure that they're going to cover your commercial trailer. Mm-hmm. That's the big part of it.
And start small, and small steps turn into big steps. Like I said, growing, always just grow when it's your time. Don't look at other people and say, well, they're growing or they're doing this. Focus on yourself. Easy to go down the rabbit hole of trying to have the best equipment or why is this person doing better than me or this. If you just focus on yourself, that's the best advice I would give anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
don't keep up with the Joneses. All that's going to do is get you into debt, you know. Just make sure you have good working stuff that can get the job done in a timely manner and you're going to do great.
Yep. And give it to God. God first, family second, and balance. Another thing is balance your work life to where you're not working all the time. I have a trouble. I work so much, and I'm trying to work on that to be home with my family. So,
Yeah. You have been trying harder, and we appreciate that. But you guys know how it is. We understand, but we miss him. He works all the time, so definitely take some time for yourselves.
we're hiring a new guy Monday. So, and the thing with I've had a lot of people ask to work with me, but I'm really picky because this is our reputation. We've worked on built our reputation for 10 years, and another thing is I can't stress the importance of taking care of your customers because most of our business has been from referrals. So you take care of your customers and they'll take care of you. But we're going to end this video. We don't want to go on too long. And we'll do more videos. If you guys have any comments about what you'd like to see from us, drop in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you.
Get to like this video and follow
Subscribe
for more.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Let's go. Peace.